AGI is on the horizon, and in this video I'm going to show you what to do about it, why you should care, and how this will change everything about AI. And to start off, these papers just had their AlphaGo moment. If you're not sure what AlphaGo is, it is basically a super advanced AI that beat a grandmaster at the game of Go. And this game has been going on for centuries, and there are so many moves that a whole entire human can play the game for the rest of his life and not do all the moves. So put that into your brain about how freaking complex it is. And if AI beat the Grandmaster, that just goes to show that AI is super powerful when it's designed to do a certain task. And that's the video, and I'm going to show you these 3 breakthroughs that have happened, with AI that is going to really get us to human level intelligence. To start off, we have this AI moment where it is getting to the point of learning super intelligence and doing things all by itself, which is super terrifying because super intelligence, it is just intelligence that we can't even grasp, and it's being achievable today, which is scary. So basically, they did this research where there were no humans involved, and just the AI just started to improve itself. And it was running autonomously, and there's this thing in AI called the scaling law, where if it can really achieve this, there's just no limit to how massive this AI can be. And this is a principle that people really did not think of, and that's the terrifying thing about it. So we're going to read the paper here, and this is going to be super interesting. It is far complex, so I wanted to kind of just really show you that this is an actual legit thing, and ASI is being created, which is kind of crazy. I took so many hours with GPUs to do this, but that's just what's needed with super intelligence. So I hate to move on to the next one because each of these breakthroughs deserve 3 hours of a podcast to, but I have to. So the next one is going to be our tiny giant model. And for this example, this is actually 1,000 times smaller than GPT-3, but can solve problems better than GPT-3. And GPT-3 is the worser model of GPT 3.5, which is crazy, right? How can something be so small but so intelligent at the same time? And basically, you have to put in the perspective of parameters, right? Because GPT-4 has 1.7 trillion parameters, and this has 27 million parameters. That is a major difference, right? I can't even comprehend that, and it's almost doubling these models, which is insane. Actually, doubling Claude. So, but let's dive into the paper, shall we? So, basically, it has this really complex, goal-oriented sequence, kind of just how the human brain works, where we have this like chain of thought where we kind of have this problem, and then we just go through a bunch of scenarios, and then we come up with the answer. And that's really scary because it's solving as a human, which is super interesting. New AI architect delivers 10x faster reasoning than LLMs with just 1,000 training examples. Put that into perspective, right? This is like human level intelligence that is just so data efficient, significantly smaller, and it is just insanely capable. And it just blows my mind every single time. Because when you have AI like this, you're unstoppable. Like, anyone can run this. You can run a whole entire AI on your phone that doesn't need the internet, which is kind of crazy to think about. Alright, the next one I need to give a couple context to, because I was listening to the Theo Bond and Sam Altman podcast, and according to Sam, he was saying that this was not done by ChatGPT 5, that it won gold in a math competition. This was done by a more advanced model, which is terrifying because you have all this hype for ChatGPT 5, right? But yet there's a better model than that that's just hiding in OpenAI's laboratory somewhere, which is terrifying. But to give more into this breakthrough, Google's Gemini and ChatGPT's, really powerful model just ace this math, competition that is one of the hardest in the world, and it did it in 4.5 hours, which is nothing for AI to do. So that is pretty crazy to really think about. And yeah, let's look into it. So we have Gemini, and then we have ChatGPT. And all of these have happened in the month of July. So this is just a, insane amount of progress that's just happening in this summer. And, you can pause and just take a look at these articles, but it is just insane to me just how fast this whole thing is operating. Lastly, I wanted to do just some predictions on AGI and where do I think about it with all these papers. And to be honest, I think that these people are actually wrong. I think Sam Altman is wrong. I think Jensen, NVIDIA founder, is wrong. I think that it's more likely going to be Elon Musk timeline, which is either before 2026 or early 2026, which is kind of crazy to think about, right? Because it will just be smarter than any human being. And the bottom line that you need to know with these 3 different articles is that AI can now design better AI for itself. Smaller models are outperforming the best in the game, and AI is just winning, some of the most elite challenges that humans have ever experienced. The question is, what if it's when, which is, I think, insane. So I have a ton of hope for this technology. I think that this is only the beginning, and the best thing to do with a technology like this is to learn as much as possible. So I hope that this video was super insightful. You learned a lot about people's opinions about these research papers. You can find all of these in the YouTube description, but I hope you really understand that this is just the start. So, peace.